Stone and Webster is a century-old group of integrated and interdependent engineering, construction, and consulting business. It is known as the company that built America because it helped build a substantial portion of the America's power production infrastructure, constituting around 20% of its generating capacity. The company was initially incorporated in 1889 as the Massachusetts Electrical Engineering Company. In 2000, according to Jones, the century-old company hit rock bottom as they suffered from liquidity problem and thus had to declare bankruptcy. There are several significant key dates of Stone and Webster from its incorporation year until 2003. In 1889, the company was founded in Boston by A. Stone and Edwin S. Webster as electrical testing lab and consulting firm. This company diversified into several niches of business such as building, construction, managing power plant, and engineering itself. In a matter of century, the company grew tremendously as it able to open subsidiary companies, goes public, and involved in many projects such as Manhattan Project and Clinch River nuclear plant that had significant impact to America's history. However, the company's performance deteriorates to the point that it had to declare bankruptcy in the year of 2000 due to the liquidity problem. The first governance issue of the case study is manipulation of account. Despite the fact that the Stone and Webster met all the rules of accounting disclosure, the number that the company presented hid the true story, in which the fact that the core business is failing due to the poor performance. The profits made by the company were disguised with the contribution of income from other sources. Next, the second issue is ineffective board structure and leadership. The board of directors of Stone and Webster failed to fulfill its function. This can be seen when the board unable to select management that have right strategy for success and replace them when they fail to succeed. The underperformance of the board is mainly because most members of the board lack of qualification to lead the company. The third issue is improper consideration of shareholders. It is also known as rubber stamp. The fact that 30% of Stone and Webster stock held by Employee Stock Option Plan (ESOP) made them a substantial shareholder, which means that they get to voice out their concerns of their stakeholding the most. However, the trustee of ESOP, which is Chase Manhattan Bank, only functioned as rubber stamp and failed to exercise the right of shareholder for the benefit of the employee member.
The first discussion question is, what is the responsibility of the management and the board pertaining to the financial reporting of the company? And the discussion objective number 1 is to identify the responsibility of the management and the board over the internal control of the company. Now for the literature review based on discussing question number 1, firstly we are going to look into MCCD 2021 Practice 1.1. The board should set the company's strategy aims and ensure that the necessary resources are in place for the company to meet its objective and review management performance. The board should set the company's values and standards and ensure that its obligations to its shareholders and other stakeholders are understood and met. It means that the board should establish the firm's strategic goals, guarantee that they have the required resources to fulfill the goals, and evaluate management performance. The board should establish the company's principles and standards as well as guarantee that its commitments to its shareholders and other stakeholders are understood and met. According to the Beta 2021, the Board of Directors is responsible for these basic duties. They supply companies with resources that allow them to access critical sources and relevant information. They advise management on creating the firm's strategy. They monitor management activities, and they also perform control responsibilities on behalf of external stakeholders. Next is Section 249, Subsection 1 from the Companies Act 2016. The annual financial statements for a financial year shall give a true and fair view of the financial position as at the end of the financial year and the financial performance for the financial year of the company. It means that the yearly financial statement for a fiscal year must provide an accurate and fair picture of the company's financial condition at the conclusion of the fiscal year, as well as its financial performance during the fiscal year. According to GA 2009, transparency is a core element of successful corporate governance. The concept argues in its most basic form that an organization should disclose any information in its possession that stakeholders would find useful in evaluating the company and making economic decisions about it. As a result, stakeholders can get a clear and full picture of a corporation's activities and financial status. Okay, so for the application, in this case, which is Stone and Webster, they have passive assets which is completely unrelated to the company's core business. For example, the company's real estate portfolio was worth $199 million, 38.2 million in Tenneco shares, $5 million in US government bonds. These profitable sidelines allowed management and the board to ignore the reality of the company's disastrous performance in the business. This shows that the board of Stone and Webster does not fulfill their duty properly, which is one of it, they failed to review the financial performance of the company. Next, the second one is the failure of the core business was disguised by the contribution of income from other sources, which is in the case is the overvalued pension fund. The company released a portion of the surplus and represented as addition to the company's income. In 1993, the company recorded $2 million profit, which was benefited from $14 million credit from pension fund surplus of 5% of company's gross earnings. It means that there is no transparency for the financial performance of the company, and the worst part is Stone and Webster try to hide that the fact that the company incur loss every financial year, and also they disguise it by the income of other sources.
Discussion question 2 is how the board structure affect the performance of the company. And discussion objective number 2 is to discuss the effective board structure in order to improve performance of the company. For the first literature review is annual board self-evaluations. So evaluation of board is an important pillar of good corporate governance. It helps to ensure that the board is continuously improving as the board become aware of their strengths and weaknesses. Evaluation should help boards to better understand what skill they have compared to what skill they need to improve. Board evaluation can be carried out using a variety of methods, including questionnaire, interview, through self-assessment or peer review. So for the application to case, based on the case study Stone and Webster, proven that there is ineffective board management due to there is no evaluation towards their boards. So the board do not aware their weaknesses in managing company and do not take any action to improve. So based on MCCG 2021 practice 6.1 stated that the board should undertake a formal and objective annual evaluation of its effectiveness, and MCCG also asks company to disclose the evaluation into annual report, such as how the evaluation was conducted, the criteria used, outcome, and the next step. Next literature review number 2 is corporate culture. So corporate culture refers to the belief and behavior that determine how the company's employees and management interact and handle business transactions. Corporate culture has been shown to improve levels of employees' engagement, productivity, and performance of the company. Corporate culture also can transform your company into a team where we can see that employees and board do works together as a team. So the effective corporate culture may help in decision making, such as not only board has right to make decision making, but the board also can hear any suggestion from others employees. So for the application to the case, based on the case study Stone and Webster, they fail to apply a good corporate culture where they believe the boss always right and employees do not interfere in decision making of the organizations. So this situation relate with the what's stated by the MCCG 2021 3.0. The board is committed to promoting good business conduct and maintaining a healthy corporate culture that support integrity, transparency, and fairness. Besides, based on the MCCG 2021 Practice 3.1, the board should establish a code of conduct and ethics for the company and together with the management implement its policy and procedure, which include managing conflict and of interest, preventing abuse of power, corruption, insider trading, and money laundering.
So next, the third discussion question is, what is the role and responsibility of company shareholders? And the objective question number 3 is to determine how the shareholders might influence the firm's governance. So now, I will explain on the roles of shareholder on the literature review and also the application to the case Stone and Webster. First, is the right of shareholder as an independent judgment, which is the rights in making decision in approving any crucial decision made by the directors. It means all the decision can be made and prevent any improper decision that made by the directors. Number 2 is responsibility of shareholder, which is the shareholder tasks are to ensure that the firm is managed by a competent board. Its purpose to ensure the efficiency of business management and also long-term sustainability. Now, I will continue on the application to the case. Firstly, the Employee Stock Option Plan or ESOP as institutional shareholder that represented by Chase Manhattan Bank is a rubber stamp of the board decision. By being the rubber stamp of the board director, they prove that they have failed as their role as the shareholder. So, as a shareholder, it should have a control over the management as well as the director's decision making. And next is, the company's stock was acquired by a Lens fund and the company share was held by it. So, as a result, Lens fund have decided to utilize the rights as a shareholder to improve and also strengthen the company's management.
The first recommendation is implementing rotation of board. Director rotation is a process of limiting corporate board members' service length and having them vacate their position. According to Morrison in 2017, leadership rotation provides more directors with opportunity to lead and distribute workload among directors. If the same people serve for years, there is no way for new idea and innovation. In addition, with regularly board rotation, it provides the organization with ability to explore and expand new knowledge. For the second recommendation is to split the role of the chairman and CEO. This is because by keeping their roles separate, the two executives can concentrate on their main duties. The CEO can responsibility is to focus on the day-to-day operational activities, while the chairman is responsible for overseeing compliance requirement, recruiting board members, and taking responsibility for the performance of the company. Splitting the role also reduced the result of an excessive concentration power in the hand of one person. In the case study, we can see that Mr. Hansen, that also the chairman and director, unable to make independent decision making. Thirdly is to striving for continuous improvement. In the case study, executive of Stone and Webster said that they has been successful in the past, so there is no reason to change. To simply put, according to Jack Deep in 2013, continuous improvement is critical as it is the best way to guarantee the organization are doing things in the most cost-effective, accurate, and productive way possible. The benefit of continuous improvement can be tremendous, such as will ultimately allow the company to stay one step ahead of its competitors. Continuous improvement also can be implemented by encouraging employee involvement and knowledge sharing. And lastly is to enforce proper accounting standard. Accounting standard improve financial reporting, disclosure, and transparency in an organization. The organization can standardize how business transactions should be identified, quantified, and showcased. Without proper accounting standard, companies could fudge their figures in many other ways. For example, changing their financial statement to whatever present company in the best light. Furthermore, accounting standards keep investor, business owner, and regulators on making decisions to invest and generate new business strategy. In conclusion, Stone and Webster case studies show that regardless of the years in industry, experience, success and failure, it is difficult to overcome barriers for organizations to achieve an effective corporate governance. However, it is important for the organization to strive to improve and be open-minded to change. In the end, reluctant to change and fear being challenged is to fear growth and new possibilities.